So let us start. So thank you everyone for joining. So from today we are going to start a new book. It is messages from 40 masters. This is channeled material by C. Aruna Garu. And I'm very excited and very grateful, to discuss this book and share among us. Um, I particularly really like this book. So when we say like 40 masters, these are masters are all, like gods and, a lot of gurus or, spiritual heads and they're spread across among many religions as well. But the messages are not, in terms of any or any attached to any particular religion, like that. Okay, these are all the spiritual oriented messages, and I'm sure you all will like it. So, and this book is, channeled basically to see Aruna Garu through auto writing. And this is done during the years in 1993 to 1995. Okay, and every message from these enlightened beings will take us through a new wave of, transformation, which all of us have been seeking, or might be searching for, some answers for a long time. So let us all make this book as part of our energy, to guide into our own soul journey. So let us learn more about our author as well. C. Aruna. So she is a senior master from PSSM family itself. So, and she is a very thorough, enlightened master. She is born in 1958 in Hyderabad, and she did her post graduation in psychology and has been married to CSR Murthigaru, and she's a homemaker, blessed with two children, and all of them in her family are meditators. So, I mean, even though the spiritual journey first started way back in 1984 by starting a book, Autobiography of Yogi. I think many people can relate to it. A lot of spiritual people's first book is this the same book, right? The Autobiography of Yogi, including me. So, however, but the real understanding and learning has started only after meeting with Brahmarshi Subhash Patrigaru in the year 1992 in Karnool. So, and she, did vigorous meditation, read world class spiritual books, across world with different authors, and she been part of, constantly sharing her experiences and understanding from different masters. And she has a strong intent and will, to achieve perfection in all her aspects, and also heeding to guides advice always. That means she was always aware to the advices from different masters and from the universe as well. She's very aware, and she has been following them as well. So quite early, right, soon after she started meditating, she found that she had a natural ability for automatic writing, and began to channel material for masters. And she admires, or her favorite master is Osho Rajneesh, because his books has inspired her, and he remained as a best teacher, uh, especially in terms of knowledge of our true and our essential nature. And in her meditation, right, in her early years, so she started experiencing, seeing different masters. She can see them very clearly in her visions, and she started talking to them very freely, and But and also she saw in her visions that masters are giving her papers and pens, and some masters are asking her to write, and she don't know what was auto writing at that time, right? And she, like everyone, she thought, because she hardly knows what is auto writing, and she do not possess any skills or knowledge to write a book, right? But however, she continued her meditation, and continued to reading books and learned about auto writing, and also discussions with Patricia. So these are all helped her, and she started taking messages from these remarkable personages. And among them are, some of them are like masters, some of them are grandmasters, and some of them are few are like mere masters, right? They're almost masters, and some realized during their death that they got enlightenment. So in this journey of her writing, she has learned that all these great masters or all these great personalities were once upon a time just like us, very normal in their routines. But after they were advanced in spirituality, and then they become great and key personalities for us to learn from them. But at that time when they were living, they are living just as a normal life, and routine life, just like us, seeking spirituality. So with this understanding, when she was writing the book or taking the messages through channeling, she framed a few questions among these masters, so like, when and how did they start their journey into spirituality, or what are their meditational experiences, or what are they doing now, and what do they want to give us as a message. So all of their messages frame around these questions, and each message may not contain all these answers for all these questions, but it will at least one of it will contain it. Okay. And after reading, after completing this book, Patricia read a draft of this book, and he suggested the name for this book, because because he thought that you took the messages from 40 masters, so name this book as a messages from 40 masters. And that's how this book came to us, and that's the story of this book. So very nature of this book, it has come to inspire, right, and give us a fresh wave to that spiritual urgency, because we all know the energies are changing now, and this is the age of the spiritual urgency. And this book is not just for pyramid masters, because this has come from the pyramid society or pyramid family. It's not just for pyramid masters. This is for everyone, for all the minds who are in spiritual seeking. Okay, so let us start, friends. So the first message is from Adi Shankara, and this message was or channeled on 10th March 1994 at 10:30 p.m. And he is giving us a very valuable message on how the values are very important, or we can say like very important aspect in any society, right? Without the value system, any society or any culture cannot exist. For example, for a building to stand, we need a foundation, a very strong foundation. So similarly, the value system for any or for a society, it is the foundation for any society. So each person of that society, right, needs to stick in it, or adhere, or respect and follow these value systems. And and these value systems, we are talking in terms of, your family, where, in which circumstances you were born, right? Into which family you were born, into which religion, which country, rich, poor, all of these, right? Whatever the relevant to your existence are in that type of network, right? I mean, that is what the value system Adi Shankara Master is talking to us. So some might say, for example, like, um, so we think, right? Sometimes a lot of people complain, right? If I would not have born here, or I would have born into rich family, or I would have born to different parents, or I would have gone into, great schools, my life would have been different, right? Suppose you cannot mend or, mold yourself in the situations you are born. If you are thinking that, you cannot fit in with the value system of the society or the surroundings you live in, in that case you cannot progress for your real purpose or essence of your life. You cannot progress spiritually, because and some people might think, or say, how can we continue with these outdated values, or and yet how the progress is possible, right? While other people or other countries, they are very progressive, very objective, and how and why we should stick to these, old belief systems, or due to those surroundings or situations. But Adi Shankara Master is saying that, he don't agree with that, or because if we say that, I would not have born under this current value systems, my life would have been better off elsewhere. That is, he don't agree with that, and we hear that normally in our lives, and sometimes we might have said that too. If I would have born in, very rich families, or I would have parents who are very well educated, or I would have been gone to, great schools. I am from a very countryside or a village. If I would have born in a big city, so we all have that. We always think that, we would have born in a different place, and then we will be better off, right? We all think like that, but it is not, and it is not the fact, and it is not the right as well, because we have to understand that, right? As we are born into these respective places because we have chosen them by ourselves. See, no one imposed us in any particular value system. That is our own decision, that is our own life plan, right? It is our own independent decision, and that is a part of our original plan, our soul plan, or that is a framework to where we are born. Say we have to born into that particular families, or like a joint family, because I have something to learn from there. I have to I'm born in a poor family because I have to learn something there. Very to aggressive parent, because maybe I have to learn to be more patient. We don't know that, but there is a reason we have chosen that family or that religion or those values surrounding to it, right? And how can we say that, the way where we are born is wrong and that is not right for us? No, right? So if there was something wrong, then why would have we choose it? Right? Since we have chosen it, then it becomes very essential for us to live in it, and learn from that existing system itself, right? From those people itself, from those family relations itself, because it is here and there only we can grow, or evolve, and progress spiritually. And when we are talking the value systems, right, as I mentioned, it is like to a family, to our education, right? Relations, religion, country, anything that is relevant to your existence. Okay. And however, if you uh, are here, right? Some of people might protest, what like Master Adi Shankara is saying, because there are still, outdated moods of the society that we are living in. Some of them are really wrong. Things like, joint families, or, overindulgence of parents because they follow the strict belief system towards the children, and, demanding responsibility. And he says, Adi Shankara master says he believes the same thing too. And when he was living, he think that, he was against to the child marriages, child labor, or certain, specific rituals done after death and birth. He thinks, these are just they are not necessary, right, for economic refinement, and it is nothing, it is not taking us anywhere. But still, right, we have to but it doesn't mean that, we have to change our values, or we have to escape from it. But the thing is, we have to live with it, and then we have to make improvement there, we have to contribute to its improvement, right? So friends, this is the brief view from Adi Shankara message on values and their impact at individuals' spiritual growth, right? For any culture or any society. So wherever we are living, wherever we are born, that is where our growth is there spiritually, or where we can evolve and grow, right? And that is the correct for us. So we should not think that, this is not right for us. And the second message is from Master Ravana. So we all know who is Ravana is. He is from Ramayana. And this message is received on March 11th, 1994 at 10 p.m. So he is giving this message. So every master, right, or whoever meditates can learn from his life, or can learn from his mistakes. So he wants to convey in two important facts. So first fact is that, any meditator, right, or the person who meditates for 10 months with sincerely, and with dedication and regularly, and including some spiritual knowledge, can attain whatever siddhis Ravana has, or Ravana has achieved. For example, right, he can take out the Atmalinga, and he has many great boons from Shiva. We all heard about it, right? And but what Ravana is telling is that everyone can get that, including me, you, or in fact any meditator. If they meditate for 10 months, 10 months is enough. If you are doing strictly, correctly, sincerely, doing meditation along with that spiritual knowledge, anyone can get that siddhis. And for example, our own author is the proof, right? She got the boon of this auto writing. So anyone can do the meditation and get these siddhis. And also there were many yogis or meditators along with him during his time when Ravana was living. There are also several masters like him who got many other boons, or many other siddhis. So for example, right, Rama, Sita, right, Lakshmana, Hanuman, Vishwamitra, Janaka Baba, these are all, avid meditators. Janaka Baba was also Brahmarshi, and everyone, right? Rama was also meditating all through his journey in the forest, and they're all yogis. But still, Ravana is the only one, he was self-indulging, or, exhibiting to every person, showing to every person that, I am a master of 10 heads. He was exhibiting it, he is showing it, even though everybody has it, but he is the one who is showing it, right? His 10 heads represents his heads of awareness, or his siddhis, right? And no other meditator was such an exhibitor as he was, and that is the second fact he was mentioning. And he says that, Rama was his master indirectly. Okay? They designed their lives together, it was a divine plan, and Rama was successful in his mission. But unlike Ravana became so obsessed with his own ego and brought violence and destruction to many people. And that's when Master Rama had to take this extreme step to kill Ravana. Right? So Ravana, Master Ravana, he's telling that these three things. What are the three things? The self-importance. The first one is the self-importance. It is the greatest impediment to the spiritual progress, right? Self-importance or self-interest or selfishness, right? That is the greatest impediment for the spiritual progress, because you have to involve everyone, right? You have to help others, you have to think about the others. And the clarity, what he says, like, clarity is the dictator for your self importance. So we will have a clarity when we are uh, or acting with self importance or self interest. When we are selfish, there will be a clarity in us and also clarity in others. They can also tell, he's acting like a selfish. So we have to know that that we have that we have to look into the clarity, right? So we have to be beware of self importance and clarity, right? So he's telling self importance is impediment and clarity is what we have to look when we are in our self importance, right? And we should be beware of both of these two, self importance and clarity. And here clarity, right, we can say like it could be as a half knowledge, right? We don't know everything, we are looking only in one aspect. So, and we think that there's a clarity, right? I know what I know. Okay, I know what to do. So these are the some of the thinking aspects we do when we are acting with selfishness or say, self importance. And that's what Ravana did too. He think that he knows everything and whatever he is doing is correct, right? He has that kind of clarity, but it is not the full knowledge clarity, right? That's a half knowledge clarity. So we should be always checking about our self importance, and this is what brings us the spiritual ego. And spiritual ego is what made Ravana to act violence or to be destructive to the other people. So we will conclude here, masters, with the messages from two masters, and we will continue from next session. So before we go to questions, let me stop sharing. So if anyone has any